I call upon Councillor Deborah Harries to second.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I rise to second the motion in Councillor Baz and my name. I thought I'd take this opportunity to illustrate the problem of supported exempt accommodation with a real and recent case in my own ward of Yardley East. For many in this chamber, it will be an all too familiar scenario, and for those as new councillors, and I take a moment to congratulate all those who have made their maiden speeches today, for those as new councillors who have not yet had to deal with supported exempt casework, it will only be a matter of time, I'm sorry to say. I have had tenants running down the street naked, going to the toilet in neighbours' front gardens and waving machetes about in the early hours of the morning. And this doesn't even touch on the sadly common or garden antisocial behaviour such as drug activity, noise nuisance, overspilling bins, or the regular attendance of police and paramedics because a drug or alcohol-fuelled fight has broken out. Months ago, I came to this chamber with a petition by residents in Westacre Gardens, which is a quiet, friendly family cul-de-sac in Stetchford. They were worried, and rightly so, that the internal conversion of a recently sold 3-bedroom semi into 5 individual rooms with secure lockable fire doors meant an HMO was on its way. Because, of course, residents don't distinguish between an HMO, an SEA, or just a poorly managed private rented property. And not unreasonably, they think the council should be able to grant or decline a licence, take into account the views of neighbours, and carry out enforcement or closure where there are problems. Within just 1 month of this property being tenanted, neighbours were having their doors knocked or being approached in the street and being asked for money. The police arrived with a battering ram as the ex-partner of a domestic violence victim turned up, and neighbours weren't able to sleep due to drunken shouting, all-night drug highs and noisy, aggressive gaming. It was so bad that in this time, just 1 month or less than, the house was trashed, there were 2 evictions, and an ex-prisoner left of his own accord after a couple of days because he was trying to get on the straight and narrow, and this environment was not going to help him do that. Because, of course, there are 3 words in supported exempt accommodation. This is not just about the havoc caused to neighbourhoods in this city, but it is the lack of support provided by poor landlords or registered providers who receive the benefits of vulnerable people they house. In this house was a domestic violence victim, an ex-prisoner trying to get his life back on track, and an adult with immature behaviours, surrounded by the chaotic consequences of others with drug and alcohol problems. But often these behaviours are not serious enough or actual crimes that the police are able to attend. And in this case, the property was not yet fully registered with the council, so the supported exempt team were unable to assess and attend, and the Community Safety Partnership, aimed at bringing together local authorities, police and other stakeholders to reduce crime and antisocial behaviour, said it would take them 5 days to respond to my email. So, of course, I welcome this delayed legislation and urge officers to prepare for that now and not in 6 months' time, and I endorse all the points set out in the written motion and expanded on by Councillor Baz. But there is this grey area where the council, neighbourhood police and others need to do more in terms of supporting both the vulnerable individuals being housed, but also those residents whose day-to-day lives are turned upside down by the arrival of 1 or more of these properties in their residential street. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you.